services covered by OHIP. It's one thing to claim that you have the right to kill a child. It's quite another to expect the rest of us to pay for it. Now I want to address a myth, a lie, a falsehood that is often repeated by pro-abortion politicians as an excuse for why they're forcing you to pay for elective abortions. These politicians often make the false claim that either the Supreme Court of Canada or the Canada Health Act requires provinces to subsidize abortions with public money. It's a lie. In fact, when the former Premier Dalton McGuinty bothered responding to Ontarians who wrote him about this issue, he would respond with the very same lie. Last year, he wrote to a pro-life blogger who published his letter on her website. That blogger was Patricia Maloney from Run with Life, or Run for Life. And McGuinty wrote to her stating, and I quote, "You may be aware that in 1988, the Supreme Court of Canada addressed the constitutional validity of abortion. The court ruled that a woman in our country has the legal right to a timely accessible abortion as an insured service. In compliance with the Supreme Court decision, abortion remains a publicly funded procedure in Ontario." Not true. Not true. It's a lie. That assertion by Dalton McGuinty was false on 2 counts. First of all, the Supreme Court never found there was a right to abortion in the Morgentaler decision. All it said was that the law at the time, which required women to obtain a signature from 2 doctors before they could have an abortion, did not treat all women equally, because women in big cities would find it easier to reach these doctors than women in rural or country areas. The reason the court struck down the 1969 abortion law had therefore to do with geographic considerations, not any so-called right to abortion, which we know does not exist. Even the depraved Pierre Trudeau government that legalized abortion in 1969 never intended for taxpayers to fund abortions. And how do we know this? Well, during a debate in 1969 on the Omnibus Bill, then Justice Minister John Turner was asked, will this bill lead to the public having to pay for abortions? And he responded with an incredulous tone. He said, "Oh no! Oh no!" So even Pierre Trudeau's Justice Minister, who brought in abortion to this country, believed that it would never result in paying for abortions by taxpayers. Now, another prominent pro-abortion politician who made it clear that provinces have the power to defund abortion was Brian Mulroney's then Justice Minister, Kim Campbell. After Prime Minister Mulroney's Bill C-43 to regulate abortion was defeated in 1989, Ms. Campbell said that it would be up to each province, and I'll quote her here, to draw a distinction between abortions which are medically necessary and those which are not, and to fund only those which are medically necessary, end quote. So that's a pro-abortion justice minister, a federal justice minister. Now, we know of course that with modern medical science, it's never necessary to perform a direct abortion to save a woman's life.
Hear, hear.
Now, even abortion industry leaders admit that the vast majority of abortions are not for health reasons. The former president of the Canadian Abortion Rights Action League, Marilyn Wilson, and maybe she's around here somewhere, maybe across the street, she told the House of Commons Finance Committee in 2001 that women seek abortions, quote, for socio-economic reasons. In fact, we know that today abortion is used primarily as a backup birth control method. And that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace that even people who consider themselves pro-choice find to be outrageous. So that's why we're saying defund abortion. 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 Now, I'd like to give you another couple of examples here. Last year, the Toronto Sun reported the heartbreaking case of a family in Whitby, Ontario, the Reed family, who had a 3-year-old son. They have a 3-year-old son named Liam. This toddler needed eye surgery in Detroit from a specialist, and this surgery would prevent the child from going blind. Guess what? OHIP refused to pay for the surgery. Shame indeed. So his parents had to cough up $50,000 out of pocket for the treatments. Now, can the MPPs sitting behind us in this building say with a straight face that they would rather pay for elective abortions which are not medically necessary and allow that money to be diverted and not pay to help prevent a child from going blind? The truth is that Ontario MPPs have the power to delist abortion from OHIP as a procedure that is not medically necessary. In 2004, the Liberal government under Dalton McGuinty did exactly that with chiropractic services after more than 30 years of insurance coverage. The Liberals did the same thing with the cost of optometry exams and physiotherapy. And these things, of course, could be considered legitimate health care. Killing innocent children is not legitimate health care. So any government can do the same with elective abortions, and if they tell you otherwise, they are not telling you the truth. Defund! 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 Now, Ontario MPPs have the ability to defund abortion. They have the powers. They simply need to be educated on this reality. They lack the moral fortitude, many of them, to do what is right. And they need to be pushed by taxpayers like you to do what is right. Now, for the purpose of providing a positive role model and an example of true leadership in an elected representative, CLC Youth, at some time a little while ago, had invited a federal MP to come and speak at this rally to you all. They invited, and this was a man who has experience on the topic of defunding abortion. His name is Mr. Gary Brightcruz, a Conservative MP in the riding of Yorkton-Melville in Saskatchewan. In 2003, Mr. Brightcruz had put forward a pro-life motion which was, quote, to study whether or not abortions are medically necessary for the purpose of maintaining health, preventing disease, or diagnosing or treating an injury, illness, or disability in accordance with the Canada Health Act, end quote. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Brightcruz told us he was unable to attend due to his schedule, but just last night I received a note from him with a message that he would like to deliver from you all. And since Jerry's not here, or Gary Brightcruz I should say, I brought a picture of him. Here's Gary Brightcruz. Now, so I'll read his message now. Greetings from snowy Ontario. I wish I could be with you today at Queen's Park as you brave the elements to participate in the Defund Abortion Rally. As many of you already know, I am a pro-life, pro-family member of Parliament from the province of Saskatchewan. Over my nearly 20 years as a federal MP, I have introduced and fought for many pro-life bills and motions in the House of Commons. 10 years ago, I introduced Private Member's Motion M83 that sought to determine whether an abortion is a quote, medically necessary procedure in accordance with the definition in the Canada Health Act. Yes. The health minister at the time could not produce a single piece of evidence showing that abortions were medically necessary. The 10 provincial and territorial ministers of health also admitted that they had not completed a risk-benefit analysis on abortion. Unfortunately, while my motion did not pass, I must say I am encouraged to know that Ontario taxpayers are taking up this cause. message here, he says, "You are fighting a noble cause, and I encourage you all to keep working until you succeed at delisting abortion as an insured service in your province." End quote. So we are thankful to MP Gary Brightcrest, the federal MP, for his encouraging note, and indeed it's a good note to close on. Thank you all.
Defund! Defund!